Van immediately charged at Red, but he was unable to land a single strike, and Red even landed a hit on his head effortlessly. Lavender wanted to help Van, but Rit stopped her, so she finally revealed her real appearance and power out of rage. Danon managed to stop her attacks at first, but he got surrounded by dark clouds before getting electrocuted. Afterwards, Lavender helped Van, who was getting beaten by Red, while Esta and Urandrala strengthened the barrier, realizing that Lavender was stronger than they had expected. Red continued to dominate Van, so Lavender tried helping him, but Rudy easily protected Red before repelling Lavender. However, Van used this chance to channel his magic to create a whirlwind to push everyone away and destroy the barrier. Red dropped to his knees after receiving this attack, so Van thought it was his victory as he used healing hands to reflect the damages he received from Red. However, Red used the item Rudy had given him to negate the healing hands effect before landing the final blow on Van. Van complained that Red had cheated as he used Rudy's ability to counter his, but Red corrected him, explaining that it was a battle between men and it doesn't solely revolve around their blessings. Van was frustrated, but Red just urged him to release his emotion, as the disappointment he started feeling after realizing that he wouldn't be able to save the girl on his own during their mission was what made him waver. Afterwards, Van lost consciousness, so Red stated that their conversation would continue once he woke up. Lavender was worried while seeing Van unconscious and upset that she couldn't get close enough to him because they were both tied up. After Van regained consciousness, Red asked how he's feeling. Van was still upset after losing to Red, but he's already healed up after receiving some treatment. Van immediately asked about Albert and Lubo, so Red explained that Albert had already regained consciousness while Lubo was still recovering in bed. Van felt relieved, but he started feeling guilty as well. Afterwards, Red had writ leave with Lavender to talk with Van alone. Red asked Van about his blessings, and Van explained that it was back to normal so he wouldn't be hurting anyone anymore. Red immediately released his shackles after this, and he also explained that Van's emotional turmoil must be the reason behind his blessing going berserk. Van agreed, as it was the first time he felt disappointed, and he even questioned if he was really fit to be the hero. Red explained that being a hero was not just about its blessing, as a hero is someone who always acts like one despite wavering and worrying. Van still didn't know what he was supposed to do, so Red thought that Van was still ignorant of the ways of the world, and his lack of perspective was the reason why his sword was weak, as all this time he was trying to win through brute force. Van pouted after hearing Red's words, but Red explained that he is fine as he is, although he would need to start understanding his emotions, accepting that he was human, trusting his friends to give meaning to his sword, and only then would he become stronger and truly become the hero. Red also suggested that he trust Esta some more and talk to her about things that are not limited to being a hero. Van was worried if Esta would still be willing to travel with him, but Red was certain that as long as he wanted to continue as a hero, Esta would be present to guide him, as it was her desire, and if she didn't, she wouldn't have traveled with a brat like him in the first place. Van thought Red was mean, but he couldn't deny what he said. Afterwards, Van asked Red to travel with him, but Red stated that he was Rudy's guide and he wouldn't travel with another hero, so Van could only wish that he met Red before his hero blessing awakened. Red asked Van when his hero's blessing awakened, as he figured out that it wasn't Van's blessing originally. Van explained that his cardinal blessing suddenly changed. He thought it was a miracle by Demis and that he had to give up everything to be a hero. However, Red knew that it was hard for Van to suddenly change paths and lead a completely different life. He asked Van if he was planning to leave right away. Van thought it was the obvious choice, but he realized the right thing to do was to consult his party first, and Red was satisfied to hear it. Afterwards, Van went to thank Lavender for always staying by his side and she was moved after hearing it. Esta visited Lubo to check on his condition, and she was glad that he was fine after seeing him complain that his alcohol and cigar were taken away. Lubo explained that Van asked for his forgiveness, and although this surprised him, he forgave him as he declared that he needed the hero to fulfill his divine ambitions. Lubo thought Esta had Van apologized, but Esta explained that all she did was hear him out, and it was his decision to apologize to even Albert and the mayor. After hearing this, Lubo wanted to bring Red in their party as he changed Van so much in such a short time, but he knew it was impossible. Lubo also figured out Esta's real identity, and he thought she was a bad liar when she still denied it. Van also visited the kids at the church. Tanta was still vigilant because of what Van tried to do in the past, but they immediately accepted his apology and even wanted to play with him. Lavender was annoyed that Van had to go around and apologize to people. She thought he was like a different person, but she told Rit that she loved Van even more. Afterwards, Rit left to get some meat and snacks. Lavender went to look for Red, and she declared how she still hates him for hurting Van. But she also gave him a blue sapphire for looking after Van, as she had heard from Rit how Red was looking for a gem to put in her engagement ring. Lavender explained that she could easily get any gems from the fairies. Red thought the archfays were amazing, and he thanked Lavender for the gem. Lavender reminded Red not to mess up before going back to drink with Rit. Red brought the blue sapphire to Mogram the next day. Mogram was amazed by its quality, and he thought he could make the greatest ever engagement ring with it. And he even closed his shop for the day to craft the ring himself. After a few days, Red prepared a romantic dinner for Rit, where he declared how he fell in love with her the first time they met before asking her to marry him. And although he thought he wasn't a good match for a princess like Rit, Red promised to make her happy. Rit was in tears. She swore all of her love to Red before promising that she would stay by his side for as long as she's alive. She thought it was a dream come true after putting on the ring, and she immediately embraced Red. The group gathered to celebrate Red and Rit's special day. Irandrala thanked Rit for bringing her special friend Red happiness, while Esta was surprised by their engagement. However, Danon was more surprised by her change. So both Albert and Van got curious after hearing how different she was compared to her past self. Rudy, Tiss, and Mr. Crawley Wally also congratulated Red and Rit, and it brought Rudy joy to see them happy. However, Tiss was surprised when Rudy declared that she would be next. Meanwhile, Van was still not used to how everyone was living their lives in Zoltan. However, as Red knew that Van's real desire was to fight as a hero, he was certain that his journey would be paved with difficulties, so he wanted to play his part as a guide while Van was still in Zoltan. Thank you all for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this series as much as I did, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on any new series recaps coming out on this channel.